I'm chatting with Brett Cenicola, the proud owner of the new gym, King Gym in Bridgeport, PA. It's not far from where I live. Just having a conversation with him about what it's like to open up a gym, where he's come from, and what the future plans of King Gym are. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, George.
Yeah. So, you have a brand new gym here.
Yes.
It looks great. It's got new car smell. It's beautiful.
It could be the rubber floor.
Yeah, it could be. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Was this a dream of yours at one time?
Yes. First time I wanted to have my own gym, I was 17 years old, so it was probably the spring of 1986. Yeah. Over the years, I've had different plans, closer and further, and finally it's happened now, many years later.
And I heard you say that you were competing at one point as well?
So, yeah, I competed in powerlifting a little bit when I was in my 20s. I've competed in bodybuilding contests 6 times, the last one being this past May. I'm 50 years old.
Wow.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I love competing. I love the sport and the whole atmosphere and the camaraderie of it. One of the things that King Gym is doing is this year we are the title sponsor for the Philadelphia Bodybuilding Classic, which the show is really just a few miles away in Valley Forge.
That is magnificent.
Yeah.
How do you start to open up a gym? What do you do? How do you look for property, and how do you design something to be your dream gym? Obviously, you don't get to be 50 years old and settle for a property.
No. So really the final push, we'll call it, it was started about 4.5 years ago. I returned from a trip to San Diego, where I spent a week training at the World Gym in San Diego. The owner out there, super awesome, nice guy. Every morning talked to me when I got to his gym and pushed me over the edge to return home and find a realtor to help me find a location for my gym.
So you have this beautiful place. It's brand new, it's fresh, it looks and smells fresh. What are your hopes and dreams for this gym?
First hope and dream, of course, is to have enough members to pay the bills. Like any new business, be able to survive financially. I just want a place where people can come, have a great workout, and be very comfortable and happy. It's funny, so I'll rewind a couple steps here. But I was 15 years old. It was a week before my junior year of high school. I was playing basketball. My girl cousins, fell on my ankle, twisted it real hard, tore a ligament, had to get a cast for 6 weeks. So I started my junior year of high school with a cast on my ankle, couldn't play football. It was the first time I ever didn't have a sport to go to after school. So not knowing what to do with myself, the second day of school my junior year, I, with my crutches, got myself to the gym that was walking distance from my parents' house and from my high school. And it was Apollon Gym in Highland Park, New Jersey. And I went in. The owner, Mike Clemente, was awesome to me. He said, you have to leave your crutches at the front desk, I said, no problem. Left my crutches at the front desk, paid my membership fee. I went back into the gym. Every Olympic bench and every Olympic bar had 45-pound plates on them. At that gym, at that time, when you stripped your weights, you left it at 135 because nobody would do less than 135 on anything. Well, I only weighed 135. So I went to the bench press because I learned how to do that in high school at the high school gym. And I did 3 sets of 5. And the next day I was so sore, and I loved it, and I couldn't get back fast enough. And that experience, going back there, was just awesome. I went back the next day, and I went over to the cable pull down, and I'm looking at it. Big monster came up and he said, what are you training today? I said, I think I'm supposed to do back and biceps, but I'm not really sure what that means. I'm training back and biceps. You can train with me. And he showed me what to do, and I did lat pull downs for the first time in my life. And the next day I felt where my lats were because I didn't know while I was training them where they were. And under my armpits was sore, and I just loved it and couldn't wait to get back again. And that whole experience was just fantastic. So, a couple of years ago, I went to Apollon Gym, which it moved one summer when I was in college. It's in Edison, New Jersey now. I was stopped in there for a fun workout on my way up to a business meeting in North Jersey. And I was working out, and I looked, and there was maybe 6 of us in the gym. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday. And that guy looks familiar. As I got closer, he's looking at me as if I look familiar. He said, "You're Dominic, right?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "It's been a long time." He said, "Yeah, how long?" I said, "About 30 years." He was about 10 years older than me. And when I was in high school, him and his friends taught me and my friends how to work out the right way. And not just how to work out. They taught us that working out was fun.
Yeah.
These guys were in the gym every day, making themselves, better, stronger, bigger, and having fun doing it. And that was my first experience, and it's how I've always approached working out. Working out is not something I have to do. It's something I get to do.
You get to do.
I get to do it. It's a wonderful privilege in life to be able to go to the gym and lift weights, and I love lifting weights. It's just fun. And I learned from those guys as a 15, 16, and 17-year-old kid, eyes wide open, ears wide open, learning from the older guys who had been doing it, both how to do it properly and have fun doing it. And it was just fun. It was just a great atmosphere. And I want to have my own gym with that kind of atmosphere. Almost like one of my friends made a joke the other day, but it's like Cheers of fitness.
Yeah.
You come in and it's just a fun place. It's like you want to be there. It's not that you have to be there.
Everyone here is a gentleman too. I mean, everyone is just reaching out their hand, shaking my hand. It's just really welcoming.
I'm glad to hear that.
Which is the opposite of what a lot of people think a bodybuilding weight training gym is all about.
Right. I don't want people to be intimidated to come here. Whoever you are, if you've never been to a gym before, I want you to feel comfortable walking out to King Gym.
Yeah.
And you should be. And if you're not yet, when you get here, hopefully I'll make you feel that way.
Yeah.
Anybody that's here is here to make themselves better. And that equates all of us. And whatever your level of experience, whatever your strength, your weakness, you're still here to make yourself better, just like that guy and that woman and everybody else in between. And that's what we're here for. And when everybody realizes that, it's just a wonderful atmosphere, and we can all help each other. Even just by being friendly, you're helping someone sometimes.
Yeah.
I know you and I just spoke to a person who's tired and exhausted, and she's preparing for a competition. She's a fitness competitor, and she's exhausted. I know she's on a serious diet, and she just worked out really hard for a couple hours. And I know, being in that position, sometimes just friendly smiles and how you doing, how you're feeling, goes a long way.
Yeah. And she wanted to be here at 4 a.m. Now that's early.
She's an early bird.
Now you're normally open at 5 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, during the week, 5 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Okay.
On the weekends, 8 till 4. If there's a need for more hours, I'm happy to increase the hours.
Yeah.
We'll see what the demand is. So far, first week has been very successful. A lot of people are coming in, and if people tell me that they need earlier or later and any day of the week, I'm certainly willing to make it work.
Yeah.
Nothing is set in stone here.
Yeah. What about if someone has never done weight training or bodybuilding and they walk in here? How would you even begin to help them?
So there are some basics that everyone can do. Even someone that's that if they've never lifted any weights before at any age, either they're very young, very old, or in the middle of their life, you can still put the weight pin very high up on the stack and use just a small amount of weight and do a leg extension. You're using your quadriceps, the largest muscles in your body, and everybody needs to do a leg extension. Yeah. It's one of those exercises that the beginner does it on their first day, and the most advanced person does it training for whatever they're training for.
Yeah.
The same goes for some kind of a chest press. We have dumbbells that are only 5 pounds each. We have dumbbells that are 150 pounds.
Yeah.
If it's your first day, you're going to be a lot closer to the 5s.
Yeah,
There's
right.
nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You still lay down on the same bench. You still use the proper form.
Right.
You don't have to do a lot. My philosophy is
The same rules apply for 5 pounds and 150 pounds.
Sure.
Proper form.
Keep your proper form. Keep controlled motion. Control the weight. Don't let the weight control you. And don't do something that's going to possibly hurt you.
Yeah.
A good rule that I've always tried to teach people is if you do just a little more than you did last week, you win. You're ahead of you're making progress. And the progress needs to just be that way, just a little more than what you've done. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. If you've never done a flat dumbbell press before, then yeah, doing a set of 8 repetitions with the 5-pound dumbbells technically is more than you've ever done before. If you feel it's super light, great. Next time you'll do more.
Yeah.
More weight or more reps or more sets or more of something. You'll move in the right direction. We all need to realize that we're competing within ourselves. It doesn't matter what the guy next to you is doing. There are people in here, you know, we're only open for a week. There are people in here that are very strong.
Yeah.
Men, women.
I've noticed that. Some of the guys here are
yes,
monsters.
Very strong. Don't compare yourself to them.
Yeah.
I don't, and I don't recommend anybody. You know, they've taken a long time, many years, and a lot of hard work to get where they are. Just make yourself better. That's what's important. And if you can make progress, then you win. If you're better than you were last week, then you're the winner.
What is the goal of the gym like this? Is it strength or size or both?
It depends on the person. For some people, they want to be stronger. And it could be as simple as a guy or a woman that's having trouble carrying their luggage on an airport. I once had a personal training client. I was training for a couple months, and he came in one night and he said, "Thank you so much." I said, "We didn't even start yet." He said, "No, thank you so much. I flew on an airplane yesterday, and I didn't need assistance getting my carry-on bag out of the top rack." He said, "I didn't need assistance. I was able to carry it myself, put it up there and pull it down because you have helped me get stronger so that I can handle that. And I can't thank you enough." And it's
Practical strength.
For him, it was practical strength. It was. For somebody else, it might be being able to play with their kids properly, you know, without feeling that their back is too tight or too weak or that kind of thing. For a lot of people, it's physical appearance. They just want to look better. And looking better often is a matter of gaining a little muscle, losing a little fat, and looking in the mirror and being happy. I mean, that's really what you want. I had a client one time who wrote a letter. "I just wanted to look good naked" was the title of the letter. And he gave it to me as a letter to show any new potential customers. And it was fantastic. And he just wanted to be more comfortable. He was a single man in his 40s, and he had let himself go for a few years. And he just wanted to be more comfortable and confident with himself, and that's what it was all about. And you know, I trained him, and I did his nutrition for him, and we got him to be more comfortable naked.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is self-confidence.
Yeah.
And people, you know, whatever that might mean, and it's different for every person. And there's nothing wrong with anybody's goals. It's their goals. If someone's goal is to come in to the gym and, you know, I don't know, get their triceps bigger, and they don't want anything else bigger, they just want to have big triceps.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Who's to say that's wrong?
Right.
Somebody else's goal could be to come in and lose 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And that's it. They just want to lose 5 pounds.
So fat loss, weight loss is a part of a gym like this as well.
Of course. You know, a lot of people don't want to admit that they are bodybuilders, but many, many people, in my opinion, are recreational bodybuilders. Bodybuilding is gaining muscle, losing fat, or a combination of both. And many, many people want to gain a little muscle, lose a little fat, and it will create looking better. It'll just be they want to look better. And that's really what bodybuilding is. It doesn't mean you have to step on stage. It doesn't mean you have to even know what it's like to or be a fan of competing in bodybuilding contests. But if you want to change your body, build a little bit of muscle, lose a little bit of fat, in my opinion, you're a recreational bodybuilder. And it's a great thing. And when you do that, you're going to look in the mirror in the morning and say, "Wow, I made a difference. I made progress. I achieved some goals." And it's fantastic and satisfying. So back to your question, when somebody comes into King Gym, it doesn't matter what their goal is. It's a very private thing, and we can help them accomplish it, whatever it is.
I've heard it said that clothes make the man, but muscles make the clothes. And working out, one of the side effects is you look great in your clothing.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of people who don't realize that gaining a little bit of muscle will help their appearance. In some cases, as much as losing a little bit of fat. Because yes, especially, you know, man or woman, if you're gaining a little muscle in your shoulders, everything looks better, right? Your shoulders a little wider, your waist looks a little smaller, you just look better.
Yeah.
Whether it's in clothes, not clothes, whether you're wearing a jacket or a shirt, for women in a dress, many women have told me, oh, since I got my shoulders better, they look better, everything looks better, and that's how it works.
Yeah. I know when I discovered fitted clothing, that just made all the difference in the world. Rather than just buying something that was small, medium, large, or XL, the minute you make the move to fitted clothing, all of a sudden you feel better. But then you realize the body has to get worked on a little bit more. And they kind of play, the fitted clothing and the body play off of each other.
Yeah, it's a shame that most clothes in our society are tents made for overweight people.
Yes, they are.
And because if you do put the effort in and get yourself in shape, the clothes don't fit properly.
Yeah.
You do have to go find special clothing. You have to find fit clothing. Because otherwise, you'll look worse in clothes than you do without.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, a lot of people don't realize what I would call like the extra benefits of looking better. For instance, closing a sale, single guys getting the girl, being a lawyer, winning a case. I mean, how you look affects everything you do in life. So you're not just building muscle, you're building lives. You're improving a person's appearance in life.
Totally agree. And I believe a lot of it has the medium of self-confidence.
Yes.
Self-confidence transfers over into all those things you mentioned. When you are confident, you are much more likely to make the sale, meet the person, have people like you. Let's face it, happiness is contagious.
Yes.
When you are happy, people see that and they want to come share your happiness.
Yes.
If you're not happy, nobody wants to come share that.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Another thing that I noticed about weightlifting and self-improvement, in addition to spilling over into other areas of your life, it helps you reach goals in your life in other areas of your life. I mean, because think about it, weight training is all about goals.
Absolutely. Goal setting and goal achieving is so important in every aspect of life. I have a young daughter. She was in gymnastics. When she just started gymnastics at a very young age, every 6 weeks, she got a report card with the skills that she had.
Yeah.
So she knew what skills she needed to get to the next level.
Yeah.
That gymnastics school taught her goal setting and goal achieving from a very young age. I was very impressed by that. And that concept transfers over to everything. In the gym, I want my chest to look better, so I know I need to bench press, dumbbells that are heavier. Right now I can do 80s. When I can get to the hundreds, that's the goal for this year. And you work at it, and you do, maybe you can get 10 reps with the 80s, and now you're going to go to the 85s, so you can only get 6. So you keep trying it every week, and then you get 8, and then you get 10, and you go to the 90s. And setting and achieving goals, it's fantastic. It makes you feel like a winner.
Yeah.
In your own little game, it's just you against you, and you of this week beats you of last week. You won. And it's because you accomplished a goal.
I like that.
Yeah.
So there's really no participation trophies in this world. I mean, everything that you get, you earn.
Yes. Yeah. And when it comes to working out, it's all you. I mean, you can get help. Don't get me wrong. I've had help, great training partners, help from, support from my wife. Helping me, eat properly or get to the gym, even when it wasn't necessarily convenient for the family, but she'd help me get there because she knows it's good for me and it would make me happy. But it's really you. It's all you. The people that are in here and they're working out and they're making progress, it's one of those things where you did the work, you deserve the credit, you should take pride in it. It's full responsibility. Whereas if you take responsibility for your own self, then, I don't want to say this, I guess you then deserve all the credit for the rewards.
Yeah.
You need to be proud of yourself for what you've done because you did it. And it is about self-responsibility. You're not blaming people that are in great shape. typically didn't blame anything on anybody else.
Right.
Oh, it's McDonald's fault for being on my way to work. That's
Right.
why. No, you know what? You had the discipline
Yeah.
to go to the gym, to eat right, to make a change in yourself and
Yeah.
achieve your goals. And really, it's all about discipline.
I noticed the recurring theme of doing the work. There's no life hack, there's no shortcut. It's doing the work.
Absolutely. There is no magic pill. There's no magic potion. There's no magic exercise.
Yeah.
You know, I see people all the time trying something that they think is going to be the magic exercise.
Yes.
They invent something new, or they saw it online, or they saw it in a magazine, and they're going to try it. And I wonder, why are they doing it? Oh, I get. They think that's the magic exercise that's going to all of a sudden get them in shape. It's not.
Yeah.
The same principles have applied for many years.
Yeah.
You know, you stimulate muscle with resistance, rest it and feed it properly, it grows back bigger and stronger. You burn more calories than you consume, your body will use fat as fuel, and you'll lose fat. That's it. There really is no magic. You know, a gym like this has many, many different ways to train your muscles. They all work. Well, one isn't more, they're not magic. You know, a good old-fashioned squat, a good old-fashioned bench press, they still work great. Yes, we have leg presses and we have incredible incline chest press machines, but it's still the same concept. It's still applying resistance against your muscles, you know, resting them, feeding them, come back and do it again. And you have to keep doing it again. And it requires discipline and hard work and consistency. And that's it. It's not magic.
Yeah. Is there any such thing as being too old to do weight training?
You have to ask me about 30 or 40 years. I don't think so. I'm 51. I don't plan on stopping. I have, over the last couple of decades, adjusted my workouts.
Yeah.
Just due to, we're going to call them injuries. You know, a little shoulder tweak here, okay, that exercise bothers my shoulder, I don't do it anymore. Okay, my back hurts when I do that one, I'm not doing that one anymore. So I do other exercises more. So I don't plan to stop. We'll see what the update is on this.
Yeah. And you've done, like I said, you've done some competing before.
Yes.
And when was the most recent one?
Last May, I competed in bodybuilding at 50 years old.
Wow.
It was a ton of fun. I had a great time. Unfortunately, I did tear a rotator cuff a month before the competition, so I was a little pain on stage.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at only a month out, I put too much work in not to compete.
Yeah.
So the last month of training was a little tough with an injury, but I wasn't going to stop. It was just too much fun, and I had a great time. Since then, I've rehabbed my shoulder to a large degree. It feels great now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the future. But I don't plan to stop. Somebody that's coming to visit soon is actually my dad's personal trainer from New Jersey. She's coming to visit. She owns a gym in New Jersey. She's coming. My dad's lifting weights at 72. Now, unfortunately, his dad isn't lifting weights, but he's 96 and still rocking. So
It runs in the family. My God.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
My grandfather's still doing great. Lives on his own at 96 and still having a great time. But he's never been a big fan of weight training. I think it just wasn't part of his life early enough. But my dad does it.
Yeah.
He does it just to have fun and be healthy. You know, he enjoys it. He feels better when he does it, so he does it. There is no magic exercise. What I've tried to do is study the most successful people at changing their bodies. You know, you find someone who is an expert and has accomplished a huge amount in gaining muscle and losing fat, which is really, in my opinion, what most of us want to do. We want to gain muscle, lose fat. Maybe you don't want to look like a professional bodybuilder, but you have to respect of what they've done. They've taken it that far.
Yeah.
So if you study what they've done, I've met a lot of professional bodybuilders, I've studied a lot of their habits. There is no magic in anything they've done. There's a lot of discipline and a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And they do the basics, and they do them consistently, they do them properly, and they do them over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's the answer to success in changing your body. And when it comes to weight training and nutrition as well,
Yeah.
it's discipline, consistency, and hard work. That's what brings over and over again when you look at the most advanced people. And I think it's like that in almost any sport.
There's so many trends, like, the past couple of years. We have everything from keto, carnivore, to taking cold showers and Wim Hof breathing and all these things that people just pile onto. And it sounds like just consistency in doing the work is the key.
Yeah. Yes. Discipline, consistency is the key. When it comes to several things you mentioned were diets. They all work for some people in some ways. But the diet basics are always the same.
Yeah.
When it comes to fat loss, you need to burn more calories than you consume. If you eliminate one group of food, whatever it is, you're probably bringing your calories down, and that could create fat loss. You may think it's magic because you didn't have a certain type of food, but it's probably because your calories are now where they should be. Because typical American overeats.
Yeah.
Typical American eats more calories than they consume. That's why the typical American is overweight. When you find a way to bring your calories down, that can make you successful. When you look at it that way, you really shouldn't criticize any of the diets that do that because they work for some people.
Yeah.
You may find that eliminating a certain food group, whatever it might be, whether it's eliminate meats, eliminate carbs, eliminate oils, eliminate whatever's, is comfortable for you, and it helps you stay disciplined. You may find that it's uncomfortable, and you can't stick to that plan.
Yeah.
You have to figure out what's right for you, and that's how we all do it. But the basic science behind it is burn more calories than you consume. For some people, it's what do they call it? Intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you skip a few meals, you're probably eating less. So maybe that's what caused it. And the other way is also effective. If you're trying to build muscle, you need to consume enough good nutrients to repair your muscle. Again, there's a lot of ways to do that. Some people prefer a lot of beef, some people prefer a lot of chicken. Some people try to get all of their amino acids from other avenues. It doesn't mean, just because one works doesn't mean the others don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if somebody wants to try a new method, what's wrong with trying? Go ahead, try it.
Trial and error.
But the bottom line is, if it works for you, great. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then try something else.
Yeah.
But you probably should take 2 steps back and look at the basic principles.
Yeah.
If your goal is muscle gain, you need resistance training, rest, and a lot of nutrients. If your goal is fat loss, you need to burn more calories than you consume. Those are the basics. And if everybody takes 2 steps back, does the basics first, then go into the detail. And the detail can be a lot of different ways to get to your goals.
Yeah.
When it comes to exercise and nutrition. We have some young kids right now deadlifting, and that's pretty impressive. He's got a lot of weight there. Yeah, that's probably close to 3 times his body weight, which is impressive for anyone at any level. That was an excellent deadlift.
Wow.
Good job.
It's amazing.
Excellent lift. So for me, that's motivating. I love seeing that.
Yeah.
I was the 1994 New Jersey State deadlift champion for the 198-pound weight class. It was a long time ago, and I remember that day in the meet, and it was a lot of fun. Deadlifting was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
My back just can't support it.
Yeah.
I have 3 herniated discs. I can't deadlift, but I still will watch somebody else deadlift and get motivated.
You showed me something for people that have those herniated discs.
Yeah.
Some deadlift contraptions, kind of belt thing. What is that?
So there's different equipment that can alleviate some issues that you might have with your body. So for me personally, I found that compression on my spine, weight pushing down on my shoulders, aggravates my back.
Yeah.
If I avoid compression on my spine, I'm generally more pain-free and have better movement and happier and healthier.
Do you think that's age, or is that from injuries, repetitive movements?
I don't know.
Younger? What do you think?
I don't know.
Because I have the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be age, it could be genetic, it could be I did something wrong when I was lifting when I was young. It could have been an injury from football in high school. It could have been I once went to a doctor and he said my hip was messed up, and he's like, did you wrestle in high school? I said, yeah. He's like, that's probably when you did it. And as an adult, it started to bother me. It wasn't serious, but it was enough where he said you probably landed on it, because it's common with wrestlers to land on your hips that way during different wrestling positions. Yeah. So you never, I don't know. But the bottom line is we do have exercises that you can do to train certain parts of your body without compressing your spine. So yes, a belt squat is one of them. You put the belt around your waist, you hook it onto the machine, the weights go on the machine, and you do squats where the pressure is all from your hips down. So there's no compression on your spine. Same thing with a donkey calf raise. Instead of a standing calf raise where the weight is pushing from your shoulders down and compressing your spine as you train your calves, the weight is just from your lower back down, training your calves. We also have things like a reverse hyper machine, where you're laying down flat on your stomach on what looks like a table, and you swing your legs up, and you're training your lower back muscles without bending your spine at all. Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways to train your legs, your lower back, your calves, quadriceps, and without affecting your back.
People can really safely train these days now with the machines.
Sure. A leg press sled, a vertical leg press. You can put tons of weight on there and train your legs tremendously, and really almost no effect on your back. There's no compression on your spine at all. Your back has a nice pad. I'm going to call it comfortable for your back.
Yeah. I have about 12,000 female followers in my audience. Let's say a lot of women think that bodybuilding just means building muscle, getting bigger, looking more like a man. And I know that's a myth. Tell them what it's really all about.
Okay. Most women don't have the chemistry in their body to build any substantial amount of muscle. What happens when they do build a little bit of muscle is, in my opinion, look way better, increase their metabolism, where they burn more calories by stimulating a little bit of muscle. Muscle is active tissue in your body and burns calories at rest as well as when you're being active, which allows them to burn more calories to lose more body fat. Typically, a little bit of muscle goes a long way in a woman being more healthy, more self-confident, looking and feeling way better. Women that I've had as a personal trainer over the years, more problems with women that can't gain enough muscle, that want to gain some and just can't because they don't have the chemistry in their body. Then I've never had a woman say she's gaining too much muscle, she needs to lose it. And if she ever does, I have the recipe to lose muscle like that. It's not a problem. Losing muscle is unfortunately very easy for humans. So I don't think anybody should be worried about gaining too much muscle. It's very easy to turn that around and lose it.
All right, Brett, so there's someone that's watching this right now. They've never done weight training. They've never done any bodybuilding. And you gave them a little bit of hope already. You said anyone can do it. You don't have to have a background in it. You can be almost any age, have any former injuries that have been rehabbed. Everybody is a candidate for weight training and bodybuilding. But that one guy who's been on the edge, one gal who's been on the edge, they've hesitated, give them hope and tell them what it can do for them.
You can be a better version of yourself. Anybody can make progress. Whatever your goals might be, next week you can get one step closer to your goal than you are today. All it takes is effort and discipline, and today could be the first day of the rest of your life.
Excellent. How can people find you on the web?
KingJimBridgeport.com. On Instagram, King Jim Bridgeport, and on Facebook, King Jim Bridgeport.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.